John, hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Kyivstrat Pro working, yeah?
Yes.
John, thanks for the interview. This actually is going to be second interview. Our first interview, I think, several months ago.
Yes.
And now we are within Kyivstrat Pro and try to explain to the English-speaking audience from Kyiv, from Vozdvizhenka district. This is
Yes.
a very, very important district in our capital. You are now American, Ukrainian-American, I don't know, you will represent yourself. However, you contributed significantly in the promoting of Ukrainian voice abroad, outside. You're very active in writing, explanation.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your activity. You are our ally. You are, I think, one of us. And I can ask you direct questions about the Ukraine, about the situation in the West, because
Yes.
you know both civilizations, both sides of our planet. So these last Russians declarations, threats about nuclear potential threat, what does it mean?
Basically, what it means, I think, is that Russia has officially declared war against the West, and the West has not declared war on Russia. Mm-hmm. And we see this through the intelligence coming through that there are going to be sabotage acts in Europe. There have already been a few. In the United States, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where they build the 155 millimeter shells, mm-hmm. only a month and a half ago, there was a fire there. Mm-hmm. Suspicious fire. So they may be even doing things on U.S. soil. This is war. This is what war is. But Russia has declared war while the West has not.
Mm-hmm. You now just showed the example of potential hybrid threat and some kind of sabotage which Russia potentially in the future will make in the United States or in Europe.
Yes.
So you perceive seriously this is kind of new tactics of potential Russian influence on West.
Yes, this is just another. Well, they're already going to influence through the information, which they already do.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But they're trying to reactivate their agents throughout the world, mm-hmm. Sleeper agents, things of that nature. And in order to activate those people, they're going to have to put them to use, and they're mm-hmm. going to have mm-hmm. to do actual acts of sabotage, which they may be very good at masking. Mm-hmm. It may not be apparent right away that it was Russian saboteurs who did this or did that, but when you sabotage another country, that's an act of war.
John, may I ask a question? What are the next steps Russians can make, may take if we speak about their new methods of influence? So it's some kind of terror act, some kind of, yes. I don't know. What the Russian tactics, what the future Russian tactics in use?
I think that the Russians are going to seek to spill blood outside of Ukraine, mm-hmm. and that's also an act of war. I think that and like I said, they may be very good at masking it. It may not be apparent, but they're going to look. They live on fear. Mm-hmm. They mm-hmm. live within their country on fear, mm-hmm. and they also exude fear or promote fear. Expand fear, mm-hmm. and they think that everybody. If they get everybody to fear them, then somehow everybody will respect them.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is one of the tactics of their vision, which is actually associated with their mentality.
Yes.
So, what are the potential battlefield of this new Russian tactics? Is it Europe or also post-Soviet space could be first?
Oh, definitely the post-Soviet space may be first.
Priority.
Because they perceive the post-Soviet space as theirs still, mm-hmm. and they also perceive them as weaker than, say, France or Germany or, mm-hmm. The UK to some extent. Mm-hmm. And they're going to try to strike fear within people who've already feared them in the past, mm-hmm. where they've already worked as the Soviet Union and had people scared.
Can we say this is a new challenge for the West? Because 2 years ago, when the full-scale invasion started, there was one challenge, the first or second challenge for the West, concerning this necessity of support of Ukraine. Now we see that the support of Ukraine is sufficient, is huge but not sufficient. However, the jets will come, the new, I think, types of weapon will come. Russia launched a new campaign, a nuclear threat. Did you understand correctly that the Russians feared of new Western support for Ukraine and they tried to make some prevention measures to suspend new scale of Western support?
I don't know so much that they fear it.
Okay.
I think that they're all in.
Okay.
You know, you play poker, you go all in. I think Russia is all in on this war.
Okay.
The West is not all in. And their new tactic will be death of some sort or another. Because you know, say you and I are at a bar, right? And you tell me I'm something, and I yell at you. But until you raise your fist and hit me, it's not a fight. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, Russia has already yelled in your face, and I'm talking about the West. They have already raised their fist, and they're about to punch.
John, what is the potential response of West, which is still divided? Well, on the other side, there are a lot of countries like Baltic countries, Scandinavian, UK, United States, they're united, but still there are some countries like Hungary, Austria, and Slovakia, which have their own special position about Ukraine, about Russia. So what is potential response of West, maybe or should be?
Not so much maybe or should be. What Russia is going to, and this is my perception, I can't say that I'm right, but how does a bully react? How does a bully act? They pick out the weakest one. So Russia is going to punch the weakest one. Is what they're most likely they're not going to go punch the strongest one, because it's like the rule of the prison yard is what it comes down to. I mean, you think about the whole Zheki culture and things of that nature. That's what it is. You know, the big guy, the bully, you know, who's in power hits the weakest one. So if you're the strong guy and you're new to the prison, you're supposed to punch the strongest one. So it's the opposite for Russia. As far as those countries like Slovakia, Hungary, and what was the other one that you said? Austria not as much, but Slovakia and Hungary, they consider, the Russians already consider them on their side.
They're already in.
Yeah, they're already in. They're already under the envelope. It doesn't matter about them. They don't care about them. They're like, you know, they're just going to keep feeding them the money or whatever they're feeding them. Austria, you know, it's not quite as bad, but, you know, it could tilt either way in my eyes. I know plenty of Ukrainians that are in Austria now.
So what are the tactics of West?
The tactics of West.
Depends on what Trump.
Okay, I don't think
Trump or
I don't know if it depends on Trump at all. You know, you're not going to get the collective West, I don't think.
Yeah.
What I think is that whoever Russia punches, it depends on how hard they punch back. So say that they did something in Estonia or Latvia or Lithuania or Poland for that matter. Well, they won't mess with Poland. They know Poland is too worthy of an adversary. You know, so however one of those, whoever is the target strikes back, will determine what goes forward. Because once they strike, and either they get hit back, or they just say, oh, we don't know if it was Russia. And that's happened a lot. They may not admit that it was Russia. And then nothing will happen. But if the person or the country, the region that gets struck, if they hit back, and they hit back hard, other people will get behind them and back them up. Because your friends always back you up.
I agree. I like your comparison with a casual life, I would say.
Right. It's just it's how the world works.
The same.
It's how the world works.
So my last question, my last point, back first to Ukraine. What is in such kind of circumstances? What is the new role of Ukraine? Do you see? Because some experts can say that, well, now Ukraine will not be so paramount for the West. Or some other experts or others can say, no, indeed, now the West should give more help to Ukraine as a main fist of the West against Russia expansion. How you see the new role of Ukraine, a Ukrainian nation?
Okay, so nobody knows how to fight the Russians better than Ukraine. That's the truth.
Serious argument.
Right. Nobody knows how to fight Russia better than Ukraine. So other countries should be coming here, and Lithuania announced this today, that they're willing to send troops for training in Ukraine while the war is on. And every country that takes that risk or takes that chance and comes and trains with Ukrainian troops will be better prepared for Russia. And the other good thing about this is that gives Ukraine a chance to offer military contracts, because the country that's coming in for the training has to pay for the training. You understand what I'm saying? So that brings foreign capital into Ukraine, strengthening its defense, strengthening its economy, and at the same time strengthening its allies. So it's a win-win all around.
So you do see the despite all the deteriorating of situation, you do see the potential good chance, opportunity for expansion, more help to Ukraine. Did I say correctly?
I think you will get more help. I don't know that I can't say that it's going to come from the U.S.
Yeah.
I can't say that because it's an election year.
Yeah,
You can't ever make predictions on how Trump is going to react, or if Biden gets in, or what the Congress is going to do. You can't look at it from a U.S. standpoint anymore. You have to look at it as the collective West. And sometimes, when you go to a party, some of your friends come and some of your friends don't. So it depends on who wants to come to the party. And you know that Poland wants to come. You know that Lithuania wants to come. You know that Latvia wants to come. You know that Estonia wants to come. You know that the UK wants to come. The French are also getting more aggressive about it. Nobody ever talks about Romania and Bulgaria that much, but both of those countries are, especially Romania has a big NATO base. So, we should be developing more, and they act very quietly. And that's, there are those, you have your quiet friends and you have your loud friends. So Ukraine is lucky to have those quiet friends who do stuff for it and kind of don't, and they stay in the background.
I agree.
But if it comes down to it, we'll step up.
Okay. John, thank you for your interview, for conversation, our friendly expert conversation. I think we will continue, we will keep on to do the same video on different topics.
Yes.
And I see how deeply how deep your expertise concerning Ukraine, concerning West, concerning everything. I do appreciate your activity. And I think that we have a lack of in the information field, or lack such kind of fresh expertise. A lot of propaganda, a lot of I would say bad analysis.
Yes,
there's
that, and my advantage is because I live in Ukraine and I've been here since 2020 and I've stayed throughout the war. I pray in your churches. I shop in the grocery market. So it's different for me, It's different for an analyst with a PhD who's sitting somewhere outside of Ukraine,
academics,
drinking Starbucks, or even a general, who studied Soviet technology and how the Soviets fought. Because Russia doesn't fight. I mean, they fight to some extent like the Soviets, but they're much more sophisticated now. And I think that they were underestimated for way too long. Now we're playing catch up.
Agree. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.